Hello students, from today we are going to learn the General Science of Standard 8. This is the cover page of your textbook. The syllabus of Subject Science includes 19 lessons. Out of that, today we are going to learn the first lesson, which is Living World and Classification of Microbes. So let us start with our lesson. The living world and classification of microbes. The name of the lesson indicates what can be the contents of the lessons. Living world. In this world, there are so many living entities. You can find around you the many living entities like a very small worms, very huge elephants, animals, monkeys, humans, small bacteria, viruses. So there are so many living things in this world, and hence the living world, these two words stand in the lesson name. And classification of microbes. Microbes are very small. Sometimes we cannot even see those microbes with the naked eyes. So the classification of that microbes is been understood in this lesson. So let us start with our lesson, Living World and Classification of Microbes. The first point that comes in this lesson is biodiversity and need of classification. But before moving towards the classification, we must have to know what is biodiversity. So biodiversity, bio means biological things, living things. Diverse means various types, different types or various varieties. So the variety of living things that are present in a given place can be called as a biodiversity. If you look around you very nicely and very keenly, you will observe the earthworms. As the rainy season is there, you can find a lot of earthworms, small insects, house flies, dragonflies, drosophillas that you can find. And even you can find the bigger insects. You can find mosquitoes, you can find house flies. See the different in the sizes. You can also find the medium size animals like dogs, cats. You can also find humans. You can also find the huge animals like elephants. So from a very small size to a very large size, there are variety of living things, not only applicable for the animals but also it is applicable for the various plants also. You can find the cactus who is having thorny appearance, you can find the huge banyan tree, you can find the huge mango tree. So there are variety of living things in a given place, which is called as the biodiversity. So these various animals are present in various regions. On land, some animals are present. In the terrestrial area, you can find the tigers, but on the land only, in the desert areas, you can find the different animals than the tiger, like camel. So there are various varieties of the animals that are present in the surrounding, which is called as the biodiversity. There are even some small bacteria, small viruses that we cannot even see with the naked eyes. So there is a large variety of the living things, which is called as the biodiversity. Now there is need of the classification of those various organisms. Suppose if I give you the heap of cloths and I told you that just pick the particular colored cloth from that, it will be very difficult for you. अगर मैंने आपको एक बहुत सारे कपड़े दिए और उसमें से मैंने बोला कि रेड कलर का कपड़ा निकालो, तो दैट विल बी वेरी डिफ़िकल्ट फॉर यू. बट इंस्टेड ऑफ दैट, अगर मैंने वो कपड़े वार्डरोब में रखे, then you can easily pick that because the proper organization is there. So similarly, 87 million species of the living organisms are found on land and sea. So suppose if you want to do the study of these 87 millions of living things, there has to be the proper organization of those organisms or proper classification of that organisms, like we are doing the organization of our clothes in the wardrobes. So similarly, to study such vast number of organisms, there is the essential thing to divide them into the groups, and so the groups and subgroups were created considering the similarities and differences among the living organisms. For example, all animals who live in the water, they are differentiated in the aquatic animals. The animals those who are living on the land, they are differentiated into the terrestrial animals. So that type of the classification has been done to study this vast number of organisms. See students, highlight these sentences from your textbook, because in your exercise there is a question, what is the need of classification? So while writing the answer of this question, you have to write point 1, to study such a vast number of organisms, it was essential to divide them into the groups. And the second point of the answer is, so groups and subgroups were created considering the similarities and differences among the living organisms. So third point will be, this process of dividing living organisms into groups and subgroups is called as biological classification. सो एनिमल्स में कौन सी सिमिलैरिटी है, कौन से डिफरेंसेस है, ये देख के एनिमल्स का क्लासिफिकेशन किया गया. फॉर एग्जाम्पल, जो एनिमल्स जिनको 8 लेग्स है, वो सारे एनिमल्स एक क्लास में रखे गए, जैसे कि आर्थ्रोपोडा. सो इन दैट वे द प्रोसेस ऑफ डिविजन ऑफ these animals take place, or these plants takes place on the basis of similarities and differences, and this is called as the biological classification. While studying classification, it is very important to study the Whittaker classification system, because Robert Harding Whittaker in 1920 to 1980 was an American ecologist. In 1969, he divided the living organisms into 5 groups, and those groups are nothing but the 5 kingdoms system of classification. Like on Earth also there are 7 continents. If I said Asia continent, in Asia continent there are some countries like India, China. In continent Australia is the separate continent where the Australia and the related islands were present in that continent. So similarly, the organisms that are present around us are also divided into the different kingdoms. So that 5 kingdom system of classification is given by Whittaker. He divided the living organisms into the 2 main types, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Now what are prokaryotes and eukaryotes? Prokaryotes are having undeveloped nucleus. This is the cell which is present in every animal and every plant. Inside this cell there is nucleus. You can see this purple colored nucleus over there inside the cell. Now just elaborate that structure of the nucleus. This nucleus is very well developed nucleus. Such well developed nucleus, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. These are the main 2 types which comes under the animal classification. first we will see towards what are eukaryotes. All developed organisms, all developed living things comes under the eukaryotes. So these eukaryotes are having well developed nucleus. Now what is nucleus? Inside every organism, the basic unit is cell. You can see the cell over here. In this cell, the important organ is the nucleus. This purple colored is the nucleus. This nucleus is very well developed in case of eukaryotes. Now what do you mean by well developed? Well developed nucleus means the nucleus which is having the nuclear membrane. This is the elaborated structure of the nucleus. So the nucleus which is having the nuclear membrane, that is of the eukaryotes. So this eukaryotes are having such well developed structure of the nucleus. Nuclear membrane is present, nuclear pores are also present. Whereas in case of the prokaryotes, such developed nucleus is not present. The undeveloped nucleus is there. Nuclear membrane is absent in case of the prokaryotic animals. So considering these two basic classification of living organism, the prokaryotes are further divided into the unicellular organism. Unicellular, uni means single, cell, which is present inside our body. So if the organism is having only one cell inside his body and is having non-developed nuclei, then that organism is prokaryotic unicellular organism, and such prokaryotic unicellular organisms comes under the kingdom Monera. So the first kingdom classified by the Whittaker is the kingdom Monera. Further, eukaryotic animals are also divided into two types, unicellular and multicellular. Unicellular are the organisms who are having single cell in their body. So such organisms having well developed nucleus and single cell comes under the kingdom Protista. So the second kingdom which is proposed by the Whittaker is the Protista. Then eukaryotic organism who are having many cells in their body, multicellular and eukaryotic organisms, they are further divided into the three kingdoms: fungi kingdom, plantae kingdom and animalia kingdom. This is the 5 kingdom classification system of Whittaker. What are the 5 kingdoms? Kingdom 1 is Monera, Kingdom 2 is Protista, Kingdom 3 is fungi, Kingdom 4 is plantae and Kingdom 5 is animalia. So this fungi kingdom, cell wall is present. Cell wall is the outer covering of the cell. Here you can see this is the outer covering of the cell. So such cell wall is present in case of the fungi, but they cannot perform photosynthesis. The plants can perform photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is the process where the plants are making their own food with the sunlight. So that photosynthesis process they cannot perform. Kingdom 4 is the plantae. In case of the plantae, cell wall is present and the plants can perform photosynthesis. They can prepare their own food by themselves with the help of the sunlight and the chlorophyll. That is why they are green in color. So such kingdom plantae is the 4th kingdom in the 5 kingdom system of classification. And the kingdom 5 is animalia. The animals do not have the cell wall. So in this way, Whittaker has proposed his 5 kingdom system of classification. So now let us have a brief look into the kingdom 1, which is Monera. So kingdom 1, Monera. Now How the organisms are placed in the Monera class? The organisms who are having certain characters, they are placed in the kingdom Monera. What are those characters? So first character is all the organisms are unicellular. In kingdom Monera, the organisms are present who are having single cell in their body. So on the earth, whatever unicellular organisms, single cell organisms are there, they are classified, they are divided into the kingdom Monera. They may be autotrophic or heterotrophic. Autotrophic. Autotrophic means the organism who are preparing their food by themselves, जो खुद का खाना बनाते हैं with the help of sunlight, they are called as the autotrophic. Heterotrophic. Heterotrophic means these organisms are not preparing their food by themselves, but they take the food from the other animals, for example humans. We cannot prepare our own food, but we can take the food from the plants and from the other animals. So humans are heterotrophic. So the animals or the living things that comes under the kingdom Monera, they can be autotrophic, means they can prepare their own food, or heterotrophic means maybe they cannot also prepare their own food, but they will get the food from the other plant or other animals or other organism. Third characteristic is these are prokaryotic cells without distinct nucleus or cell organelles. They are prokaryotic cells. Prokaryons means they are not having developed nucleus. There is absence of the nucleus and the other cell organelles. So these are the three main characteristics of the kingdom 1 Monera. You can see the various organisms that comes under the kingdom Monera. They are very small, like Streptococcus pneumoniae. They are very small. You cannot see all these organisms with your naked eyes. If you want to observe these organisms, you have to take the help of the microscope. So very small, only one cell organisms comes under the kingdom Monera. The second kingdom in the Whittaker classification system is the Protista. What are the characteristics of this kingdom? So the first characteristic is Protista are single-celled organisms with well-defined nucleus enclosed in a nuclear membrane. Here in the Protista also the single-celled organisms are there, unicellular organism is there, but the difference is here developed nucleus is present, nuclear membrane is present. If you again look into the kingdom Monera, they were unicellular, but they were not having nucleus, distinct nucleus they were not having, whereas the Protista are single celled, but they are having well defined nucleus and nuclear membrane. This is the first point of difference between kingdom Monera and the kingdom Protista. The second point is they have pseudopodia or hair-like cilia or whip-like flagella for the locomotion. Now what do you mean by pseudopodia? If you look at this image of amoeba, you will find amoeba has extended his body parts. अमीबा के ये जो बॉडी पार्ट्स है ये एक्सटेंड हुए हैं and there is a cavity over here. So these two are the legs of the amoeba. Pseudo means false. Podia means the legs. False legs are created by the amoeba. So they have pseudopodia. What is the use of this pseudopodia? For the locomotion purpose. Humans are having the legs, but they are true legs. So such false legs are present in case of the amoeba. Human is having the true legs, but amoeba do not have these legs all the time. Whenever the time comes, whenever he want to move from one place to another place, at that time who create these fall cells, which are called as the pseudopodia. Cilia. Cilia are present in case of the paramecium. Cilia are the very small hairs. So by moving those small hairs, the paramecium moves from one place to the another place. Or whip-like flagella. You can see this a thread-like structure which is called as the flagella. This flagella is moved and euglena move from one place to the another place. So they have pseudopodia or hair-like cilia or whip-like flagella for locomotion. They are autotrophs. For example, euglena, volvox, they are having the green colored chlorophyll inside their body, so they can prepare their own food by themselves, whereas amoeba, paramecium can be heterotrophs. So this is about the kingdom 2 Protista. Now the third kingdom proposed by the Whittaker is the fungi. The characters of this fungi are they are non-green, eukaryotic, heterotrophic organisms. They are non-green, means green colored pigment is absent in them. Chlorophyll is absent, that is why they are non-green. They are eukaryotic. Eukaryotic means they are having very well developed nucleus, and heterotrophic, as the chlorophyll is absent, as they are non-green, they will not be able to produce their own food, so they will be heterotrophic. So this is the first character of the kingdom fungi, that is they are non-green, eukaryotic, heterotrophic organisms. Most of them are saprotrophs. They feed upon decaying organic matter. Saprotrophs. Saprotrophs are the organism who do not prepare their food. They will not take the food from others also, but whatever the dead and decaying living things are there, so on that dead and decaying living things, these type of the animals or these type of the living things grow. So kingdom fungi are saprotrophs, means उन्हें खाने के लिए डेड, डिकेइंग या रॉटन चीज़ें, सड़ी हुई चीज़ें लगती है. Third, their cell wall is made up of tough and complex sugar called chitin. Chitin is one of the chemical which is present in the cell wall. Cell wall is the outermost covering of the cell, और वो cell wall chitin नाम के chemical से बना होता है. The fourth point is some fungi are thread-like and many nuclei are present in the cytoplasm. You must have observed these fungi on the bread. If you keep that bread slightly humid after 2 or 3 days, you will find that there is a growth of the fungi on the surface of that bread. So they looks like a thread-like structure. So many fungi can be present. So thread-like structure is present and the many nuclei are present in them. The example is baker's yeast, aspergillus, penicillium, mushrooms. The mushrooms that we eat, they also comes under the kingdom fungi. You can observe some pictures of this kingdom fungi. See, mushroom, this is the example of the kingdom fungi. Penicillium, or the fungi that we can grow on the bread in the home. So all these are the various pictures of the fungi, and this is the third kingdom, fungi. Now these three kingdoms of the Whittaker is these three kingdoms are proposed by the Whittaker. Now microbes. What are microbes? Microorganisms are very small in size. We cannot see them with our naked eye. We have to use the microscope to see these microbes. But these microbes are present in large number, in a vast number. These microbes are present on the earth. Now, if we do the classification of such vast number of the microbes, the classification can be, again, the microorganisms also can be divided into the prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Prokaryotes are the bacteria or microbes that are not having well developed nucleus. So these prokaryotes are further divided into the bacterias. Eukaryotes are having the well developed nucleus and a nuclear membrane. So these eukaryotes are further divided into protista, fungi and algae. So what are the various types of the microorganisms? The various types of the microorganisms are bacteria, protista, fungi and algae. The size of this bacteria is very small. 1 meter is equal to 10 raised to 6 micrometer, and 1 meter is equal to 10 raised to 9 nanometers. So that much small in the nanometers or the micrometers these bacterias are the measured. So that much small is the size of the microbes. So first type is the bacteria. We will study this type, bacteria. The bacteria, the size is very small, 1 micrometer to the 10 micrometer. The character of the bacteria are, they are unicellular, they are single celled, only one cell is present in case of the bacteria. They can be independent or parasitic organism. Independent means they can live freely and they can take the food, prepare the food or take the food from others independently. Or parasitic organism. Parasitic organisms are the organisms which grow on another organism for taking their food. For example, if you know the amarvel plant, that amarvel plant do not prepare its own food. So for food they grow on another plant and they take the food from that another plant. This is called as the parasitic organism. So these bacteria are the unicellular, independent or parasitic, and sometimes they can form colonies. Colonies means these bacteria live in a cluster. वो बैक्टीरियाज डू नॉट live in alone, कभी भी अकेले नहीं रहते. They make the colony. So these bacteria together form the colonies. The second character is bacterial cell is prokaryotic with cell wall but distinct nucleus or cell organelles are absent. As I said that they are prokaryotic means the nucleus and the cell organelles are absent, and cell wall is present in case of the bacteria. The third character is they produce by simple binary fission. Binary fission is the type of reproduction. एक बॉडी बैक्टीरिया की दो हिस्से में डिवाइड होती है और रिप्रोडक्शन होता है. दिस इज कॉल्ड एज द बाइनरी फिजन. द बॉडी ऑफ बैक्टीरिया गेट डिवाइडेड इनटू द two small bacteria, that is called as the binary fission process. Fourth character is in favorable conditions bacteria grow vigorously and can double their number in 20 minutes. If the bacteria get the favorable condition, they can grow in a large amount and they can double even their number. That is the main character of viruses and the bacteria. Once they enter inside anything, they start their multiplication and they do the vast multiplication that within the 20 minutes they can be double in their number. So that much high rate of reproduction is there in case of the bacteria. Second type is the protozoa. The size of this protozoa is 200 micrometers. These protozoas are found in soil, fresh water and the sea water. Some are found in body of other organisms and are pathogenic. So you can understand these protozoas are present in soil, water and in the sea water. These organisms are pathogenic organism. Pathogenic or RNA. So viruses are present in form of DNA or RNA. These viruses can survive only in living plants and animals. So whenever these viruses get the host means what? The another living entity who can produce their protein by themselves. For example, coronavirus. It is just a virus, the molecule of DNA and RNA. When it gets its host, who is host? The humans are host. When it gets its host, it will enter into the host body and produces their own protein. Once it enters in the host body, once it enters in the human body, it will start to produce its own protein, and that will result into the production of the replicas of the virus. Replica means duplicate copies, खुद के जैसे बहुत सारे virus बनाना. So in that way, by using the host protein mechanism, they synthesize their own protein and makes the replica, the numerous duplicate copies of themselves. And once they get numerous, they destroy the host cell and become free, and again they infect the other new cell. So in this way, viruses can cause the diseases to the plants and animals. This is the tomato wilt virus, the photograph of the tomato wilt virus. It causes the disease to the tomato plant. There are some long forms of the viruses, or the viruses that can affect the humans. So human can be affected by the virus: polio virus, influenza virus, HIV, AIDS virus, cattle picorna virus, etc. In case of the plants, as I showed you, this tomato wilt virus is the virus of the plant. प्लांट वायरस अफेक्ट्स ओनली प्लांट्स को ही डिसीज होता है प्लांट्स वायरस का. सो टोमेटो विल्ट वायरस, टोबैको मोजाइक वायरस आर द एग्जांपल्स ऑफ द प्लांट्स वायरस. बैक्टीरिया वायरस, बैक्टीरियोफाज, दिस viruses attack the bacteria. So bacteriophage is the virus which attacks the host bacteria. So these are the various types of some bacteria. In this way, we have concluded our topic. So what we have learned in this topic? That we have learned the Whittaker classification system, the three kingdoms proposed by the Whittaker, that is Monera, Protista, fungi, Plantae and Animalia. These are another two kingdoms. So this is the 5 kingdom system of classification of Whittaker, which we have studied in these lessons. Then we have also studied what do you mean by the bacteria, microbes, and what are the various types of the microbes like bacteria, protista, fungi, algae. So in this way, we have finished with our lesson. Thank you.